Well, you know where we are, just by the recounts. Yes, we're at the Peppermill Lounge in Las Vegas, of all places. Can you imagine an English woman ending up at the Peppermill Lounge in Las Vegas on the Strip? Unbelievable. I never thought I would be here, but here we are, Vegas Live with Ninon, and we've got this show together, and we have Steve, our producer, and Lynn, who takes care of talent, and plus all the other people that are surrounded here. And I have Diana Eden with me. Now, Diana Eden has written a book, and it's looking at Diana Eden. I don't know if I understand this book. It says stars in their underwear. Now, I've been on set many times, and I have seen stars in their underwear, without underwear, whatever. So, how are you?
I'm fine, thank
Good.
you. Thank you.
Are you dealing with this COVID-19? Everybody's kind of dealing with it.
Yeah,
they all have a different attitude on it and a different feeling on it.
Well,
and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I've been able to do things at home that have been very productive.
She's probably written 5 books at home.
No, I've written one.
You are, yes, you are an author.
Yes.
And you say you've written one. This just came out, right?
Yes, a few weeks ago.
A few weeks ago. This is the book, so don't forget to look. It's got a fabulous cover to it. I mean, you know, this is definitely in their underwear. It looks like a nightgown to me. Sexy with a red robe. Oh, that matches our sofa. Okay, so you're an author.
Yes.
This is your 4th book, you said?
Actually, it's the 2nd book.
Your 2nd book you've written.
Yes.
So, but you've had, I know what it was. You have, this is your 4th career.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back.
Yeah. All right.
To your first one.
All right. Dancer.
You were a dancer?
A dancer, yes.
In England?
I was too young to be professional in England, but I was taken to see the Sadler's Wells Ballet at Covent Garden.
Everybody in England goes to see Sadler's Wells ballet group, and it's just like the Bluebell Girls in France. It's the same sort of it's the same thing.
Yes.
You have to see them. So you were a dancer.
I was a dancer, a ballet dancer. By the time I was 15, I had my first engagement with the professional company, the National Ballet of Canada.
Wow.
Because my family emigrated to my mother's home, Toronto.
Okay, so you got work at quite a young age as a ballerina. So would you have said that you were one of the top ballerinas, or because I would imagine, that they would choose, the top.
At 15, I wasn't the top of anything, but I was promising enough.
Chose you.
They chose me. Yes, they did.
So you must have been pretty cool.
Yes, I was an up-and-coming dancer, training with the company to be with the company. But what happened at 16, I grew 2 more inches and I became too tall for ballet.
I didn't think you could ever be too tall for ballet because they like them nice and tall and slender.
No, not if you're a man and you have to lift me.
I don't know where to go with that, because she certainly doesn't look like a man.
No, but I mean a man.
Just track back.
At 5'8", I was too tall for the corps de ballet. You know how the swans line up.
They all have to be the same.
Well, then I would have been like this. I'm 6 foot on point.
Oh, that's pretty tall.
Yeah.
That is pretty tall. So you go over and above most men that are ballerinas. So.
Exactly. And the men have to lift you.
Yeah, and there was an extra 2 inches to lift.
Exactly. And a few pounds.
I don't know where the 2 inches... But anyway, so now that was the first. All right, now we're going to go to the second.
Okay. Well, there's a little bit of a skip in the middle. I went and became a Broadway dancer, and I did 3 shows on Broadway in the 60s.
In New York or
in New York on Broadway.
Do you know how many? I was in the business. I obviously learned to do ballet because my mother wanted me to walk properly, and and you do the plays. You do all those different things when you're grown. But the greatest accomplishment is to perform on Broadway in New York. I mean, that's what everybody who is in that business, that's where they actually and you were there in 3 plays?
3 shows. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it was an amazing time.
But I have to kind of go back and think about your talent. You must have been very dedicated to what you were doing, because it takes the famous saying, practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
I was very driven from a young age. And I was determined. And when my ballet career ended so abruptly and so early, I felt like a has-been. So I was more determined than ever.
She thought she was a has-been.
True. So I was more determined than ever to make it. And I studied, and I had to learn how to dance jazz. rather
how
than
wonderful.
ballet, because ballet is all
It's very
up
sort of,
and,
very controlled.
Yes, and
Yeah.
jazz is all,
It's the total opposite.
Total different.
Make it move, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Shake it.
So, I always studied.
So how long did that go on for?
Well, I was a dancer for 9 years,
9
really.
years.
Yes, and then I graduated. I say graduated into acting roles, and
So
I
then
played
then became
Gwendolyn Pigeon in The Odd Couple.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yes, with Dan Daly and Richard
I
Benjamin.
have a celebrity on my set here. How about that? See, you never know. I don't pre-interview, so I never know who anybody is. I mean, I don't think it comes out of the hat. Like, I have my rappers on, and they start rapping, and
I know, they're
you never
amazing.
know what they're going to say. Well, but the only thing is you don't know what they're going to say and the words they use. But in this day and age, it doesn't matter, and I don't mind anyway.
Yeah.
So you became an actress,
Yes,
and
yes.
you thoroughly enjoyed it.
I loved it. But once I moved out to Los Angeles to be a film actress, it was very hard to make a full-time living. You get a part here, you get a day there, you do a little bit on a TV show.
And even with your resume and what you've done and everything else, it still was hard.
Yeah, very
I
competitive.
understand that because
Yeah.
I got to Los Angeles and I had obviously this English accent. And they weren't hiring. They didn't hire English people for years.
Yes, true.
I mean,
absolutely, I
and you probably know
understand.
that as well.
Yeah,
That they did only wanted American, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to have someone different with an English accent?
Exactly.
No,
They say, oh, this isn't a role for an English girl.
I know, and you weren't even auditioned. They would never even audition you. They just say, you're English, you're out. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
So it's true because you're.
absolutely.
But now
100%.
you don't have a strong English accent now.
Not anymore, though. Some people still hear it. I don't.
I don't hear it at
the
all.
time.
But then
Yeah.
maybe. But then my English accent has also gone a little
Yes,
bit. Obviously,
yeah,
it all
yeah.
goes. But
I know. It's been a long time since.
So now that was your third.
Yes, and then through a chance encounter, I met a man who was a producer for Anne Margaret, and he was looking for someone to coordinate the dancers' wardrobe. And I said, "Well, I don't know much about costumes,
Coordinating wardrobes, but here goes.
but I know about dancers." So I was hired, and then I met Anne Margaret, and I worked with her. Through Anne Margaret, I met Bob Mackey, and I worked as his assistant for 2 years. And I was
What was
his
he like to
assistant-
work with?
Wonderful. Just
Yeah, they
wonderful.
say he's a lovely
Yeah,
man.
everything
I've
I
had
know
a couple
about.
of his outfits. And
Nice.
they're absolutely
He
beautiful.
knows how to make women.
He makes them
so
look gorgeous.
beautiful.
I mean, it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what body you've got.
Yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
make you look really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I assisted him on the creation of Jubilee.
Well,
Here.
Jubilee, the play, the show, the
Yeah.
showgirls and everything.
Exactly. So
Wow.
when you say the Bluebell Girls, I know exactly who
What
you're
you're
talking about.
but they're very famous in Paris,
Yeah,
opposite the Champs-Élysées,
absolutely. Yeah.
where they used
And
to
Miss
perform.
Bluebell was here, and
Yes.
So that was the beginning of my costume
So
career.
when are you going to write a book about yourself, about what you've been through and what you're doing? Is this it?
This is it.
This is you.
This is me.
Well, it's not exactly underwear. It's not exactly she's talking about how she went through it and what she went through. So, because you don't look exactly as you're wearing underwear right now.
Well,
fascinating.
the subtitle kind of does explain the story.
Yes.
I start the book in wartime England with bombs falling, and here I am, like you, in Las Vegas.
What are you doing in Las Vegas? What are we both doing in Las Vegas?
know.
By the way, she's from what was it you said you were from?
Tunbridge Wells.
Tunbridge Wells is near Croydon. You know Croydon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have Streatham, right?
Yeah.
Streatham. My grandmother lived in Streatham, and I live with my grandmother in Streatham. So anybody that knows Streatham out there, that's where I lived when I first went to London, and I was all 17 years old.
Oh.
And I was just a couple of years ago. Like you.
Yeah, right.
And I used to go to Croydon, and then there was Pearly Pool or something, the swimming pool, Pearly Way or something, and then we went all the way on down to Brighton, which was absolutely fabulous.
To the beach.
Do you miss England?
No.
No, I know. I've heard it's changed so much anyway.
Yeah.
They said, you wouldn't even recognise it, so
Yeah.
so it doesn't. So what's your next challenge? Because we're going to go on to number 5 now. She's done 4.
I don't know.
You don't know yet. Well,
I am teaching costume at UNLV.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Good for you.
They call me Professor Eden, and it just
Professor
tickles me.
Oh, you're a professor.
Professor Eden.
Oh, how lovely. What an honour.
Oh, yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still an honour. But
is.
professors in America aren't as well known of who they are as
Yeah.
professors in Europe. If you're a professor in Europe, you're very, very high up in the world, extremely. But I still think a professor in anything is wonderful.
Well, and I love teaching costume, and I love the younger generation and you know, the film students, and I just hope that the quarantine and all this is over soon so they can go out and make films.
And do what they are trying to learn to do. But so this COVID-19 has kind of done a lot of people in.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of it?
I hope it's over before too long. I think it exists, and I think a lot of people have died and a lot of people have been sick. But we will get through it.
Yeah.
We will get through it.
We will definitely get through it, and we will. You know,
It's just taking longer than
we want. I love that.
Yeah.
Longer than we want.
It's going to be over tomorrow, please.
How can anybody get in touch with you? Because maybe they want, you know, some costumes designed or.
Diana Eden Designs is my
Oh,
website.
Diana Eden Designs website.
And the book is available on Amazon.com.
This book is available. Stars in Their Underwear is available on Amazon, and also I guess you can go to your website and find it there as well.
Yes. Yeah.
An amazing guest. You know, it's funny how you meet people and you interview them, and then you suddenly realize everything they've done. And of course, this young lady has done so much. You've really fulfilled your life. You've done it. And you're not finished yet.
No.
What one more thing you have that you really want to do? Haven't thought of it yet.
I don't think there's a thing that I want to do, but I do want to enjoy being productive and interacting with young people.
I love that. The younger generation. We're going to need to help them.
Yes.
We can't keep putting them down because a lot of people say, oh, they're stupid and they don't know. They are not stupid and they do know. Believe me, they do. Thank you for watching Vegas Live with Ninon, and we'll be right back with our next guest. Take care. If you enjoyed the last show we just did and all the other shows, don't forget to subscribe Vegas Live with Ninon on YouTube. We've got plenty more coming up and our guests are amazing. So don't forget to subscribe. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.